Deep in the heart of ancient Lydia, a land rich with gold and mystery, stood great statues of lions. These lions were not ordinary stone carvings. They were symbols of power, protection, and the worship of the sun. The people of Lydia believed these lions were sacred, and their story is woven into the history of a civilization that honored the sun as a god. Long ago, Lydia was ruled by a line of kings who believed the sun was the greatest of all gods. They saw the sun as the bringer of life, the light that chased away darkness, and the force that made their crops grow. The kings wanted to show their devotion, so they built great monuments in honor of the sun. Among these monuments were the lion statues, placed at the gates of temples and palaces. The lion was chosen because it was the king of beasts, strong and fearless. Just as the sun ruled the sky, the lion ruled the land. The people believed that the lion statues would guard their sacred places and bring the favor of the sun god. The statues were carved with great care, their fierce faces looking out as if they were watching over the kingdom. Some lions stood with their mouths open in a mighty roar, while others sat in silence, their eyes fixed on the horizon where the sun rose each morning. One of the most famous places where these lion statues stood was the ancient city of Sardis, the capital of Lydia. Sardis was a city of wealth and splendor, known for its golden rivers and grand temples. At the entrance of the Temple of the Sun stood two massive lion statues, carved from stone so fine it seemed to glow in the sunlight. The people of Sardis would come to the temple to pray, leaving offerings of flowers, gold, and incense. They believed the lions would carry their prayers to the sun god. The kings of Lydia also used the lion as a symbol of their power. Coins were minted with the image of a lion, showing that the king's rule was as strong and unshakable as the stone guardians of the temples. Even in battle, the lion was a sign of courage. Soldiers carried banners with the lion's image, believing it would protect them and bring them victory. But the lion statues were more than just symbols of power. They were part of a deeper story, a story of how the people of Lydia saw the world. To them, the sun was not just a ball of fire in the sky. It was a living force, a god who traveled across the heavens each day. The rising sun brought hope, the midday sun brought strength, and the setting sun brought rest. The lion statue stood at the boundary between day and night, between light and darkness, guarding the people as the sun god made his journey. There was a legend among the Lydians about a great lion that once walked the earth. This lion was not an animal but a spirit, a servant of the sun god. It was said that on the longest day of the year, when the sun was at its strongest, the stone lions would come to life for just a moment. They would lift their heads to the sky and roar, their voices shaking the earth. This roar was a prayer, a call to the sun god to keep shining his light upon the land. As time passed, Lydia's power faded, and new empires rose and fell. The temples crumbled, and the cities were buried under dust and time. But the lion statues remained, silent witnesses to a forgotten faith. Travelers and explorers who found these statues centuries later marveled at their beauty and strength. They wondered about the people who had carved them and the gods they had worshipped. Today, the lion statues of ancient Lydia still stand in museums and ruins, telling their story to those who listen. They remind us of a time when the sun was not just a star, but a god, when stone lions guarded the gates of sacred places, and when the people believed in the power of light over darkness. The next time you see a statue of a lion, remember the ancient Lydians. Remember how they saw the lion as a guardian, a symbol of the sun's unending strength. And perhaps if you listen closely, you might hear the echo of an ancient roar, a prayer carved in stone, waiting for the sun to rise once more.